the local station. This is Weather Authority Weekday.
Hey there, welcome to the Friday edition of the Weather Authority Weekday Show. I'm Meteorologist Michelle McCormick, and as you can tell, it's kind of a gloomy Friday out there. We've had bands of rain coming across our area. We've had some sunshine peeking through as well. Now here's a look at the radar, and some rain now coming in through Glenn and Camden counties, Nassau County as well, and then through Duval, St. Johns County, and moving across the I-95 corridor, across the river, and into portions of Clay County along I-10. So travel carefully today. We've already seen several wrecks this morning due to wet roads, and that is just going to be persistent throughout your Friday and throughout the Friday commute. Now, what does some of these other colors mean on your radar? Well, the areas that are highlighted in the light blue go all the way down our coast, and that's the rip current statement. Very high rip current risk this weekend. The beaches are very hazardous. The red flags are flying for a reason. The winds are going to be a condition to help keep that surf high, and it's just going to be basically an ugly weekend out at the beaches as far as getting into the water is concerned. There's also a coastal flood warning. That's the areas here in green. What does that mean? Each high tide cycle, starting this afternoon through Sunday night, it's going to be where we see those tide waters rise. Now, these aren't flood waters from rain. This is flood waters from the wind coming in on shore from the northeast, bringing in the water from the ocean, making it go into our rivers. We have a ton of waterways around here, into our intracoastal waterways, into our estuaries, into our creeks. And when high tide comes and we have more water in those areas during high tide, causes those waters to rise. And we could see 2 to 3 feet above the normal ground, dry ground. So we're going to have that throughout the weekend as well. And areas that are prone to flooding, like this one, this is right at the Doctor's Lake Marina, and check out the parking lot. And if you look at this closely, high tide in this area was around 8:20 this morning. That truck is driving through some pretty significant inches of water, and you can watch the tide rolling into the parking lot. So that dock out there is basically halfway underwater right now as that very high tide moves into this parking lot. Now, we'll show you this camera again in about 10 hours. It'll have receded and the parking lot won't be nearly as wet. I think we're going to have a reporter out here today, so you're going to want to tune into our shows later on to see what is happening for real at the Doctor's Lake Marina. And that camera just really shows you a very good representation of high tide coastal flooding. All right, South Bank Tower Cam, taking a look downtown, cloudy conditions. And the river, it actually looks pretty high if you ask me. But we're looking from the South Bank to the North Bank. It's, you know, like I said, spots of sunshine. You can see some blue skies in this camera across our area. But then here's the St. Augustine Beach cam. What's it doing here? It's raining. You can see it. The camera is flopping around in the wind. The rainy conditions are all over the place. Not a soul is on that beach. That is good news. No one wants to be out in those conditions. It is just flat out ugly. But then we head north up to the Morningstar Marina in Mayport. Peaks of sunshine through here. But the flag really does tell a good story with the winds directly out of the east at 18. That's just the wind. Now, other windy conditions across the area. This is showing Mayport at 20. We're seeing 22 in St. Augustine, 17 mile per hour wind gusts at the airport right now. And then future wind gusts, I mean, we could see up to 30 miles per hour in our southern counties. And this is through Saturday afternoon. So your weekend's not going to be a complete washout, but the wind will be persistent and it will stick around throughout the weekend. This is 10:15 on Sunday. Windy conditions for your outdoor plans. Always have a plan B. Make sure you know what you're going to do when thunder or even it starts to heavy downpour. The winds just be too much. Wind advisory goes into effect over about 38 mile per hour gusts. So the National Weather Service will be watching that, of course. So future forecast wind gusts going well into our Monday afternoon. And there's a big football game. So the windy conditions will stick around. The rain will start to taper off. So here's a look at the Futurecast. And the Futurecast definitely shows breezy conditions along the beaches. We do have the possibility of heavy downpours through Monday. It doesn't look like a lot of rain through today, but as we move through Saturday, again, these heavy downpours could bring 3 to 6 inches of rain in some spots, especially in our southern counties, St. Johns County, Flagler, through Putnam County into Alachua County. And I know Saturday afternoon, the Gators are playing at 3:30. It could be rainy. Make sure you pack your poncho. This is Sunday morning, still seeing some of those rainy conditions come through our area. And of course, this is just one of the many models that we like to show you. So the forecast rain totals shaping up like this. Some areas like inland to the west of US 301, you're not going to see a lot of rain. It's going to be kind of a pretty decent weekend for you. You might have some wind gusts, maybe a smattering of showers. It's really going to be US 301 east to the I-95 corridor through St. Johns County into the beaches area. And then take a look here by Monday night at 5 p.m., almost 2 to 4 inches in our southern counties of St. Johns, through Flagler, through Putnam County as well. So we're definitely going to see these rain totals increase over the next several days. But like I said, the flooding that we're going to be seeing along the riverbanks and along the beaches and some of our roadways isn't from rain. It's from that coastal tidal warning and those rising waters from the wind and the additional water during high tide. All right, let's talk tropics. So there's this area of possible development. I have it covered up there, but there's a 10% chance of rain of that developing. Let's talk about that. But first, the area of development with the 40%, the area here in orange, that's a wave coming off of Africa. It does have the possibility over the next 7 days, and we're looking well into next week, of development near the Leeward Islands, near the lower Antilles. So we'll be watching that for you. But it's this area of development that people are starting to talk about. They're like, well, it must be this area that's bringing us all this rain. Actually, it's not, but we will see impacts from this over the next several days. So the next 7 days, 10% chance of this becoming a tropical development within this yellow space. But what we're likely seeing is this area will bring us rain, it will bring us windy conditions, it will bring us cloudy conditions, and then it's going to move into the Gulf and it's going to bring them a lot of rain and wind. The possibility of it becoming a tropical system like it shows there is about 10%. So here's the cloud and wind swath forecast. That big yellow area, that's the remnants of Imelda. That's up in your upper right-hand corner, but this is what we're watching. This is Sunday. And again, check out the yellow that's over near Mobile in the panhandle of Florida. That's going to be kind of what we're seeing. And then off our coast by Wednesday, the effects of anything that's developing near the Bahamas now, where the National Hurricane Center is watching it. Now, the Euro versus the GFS, these are the two models that we tend to watch. If you look closely at even the yellow and the white lines, do you see any circulation at all? I mean, it's just a nice like band of rain and windy conditions coming our way. So that's really what that's showing. And then by Wednesday, it's showing that possibility it being in the Gulf as just a rainmaker. All right, speaking of rain, spots of sunshine today, rounds of rain. Cooler temperatures, I mean like super fall temperatures. This is below where we should be for this time. We should be in the mid 80s. Our high today is really only like 80, 83. Check it out. And then 84 in Green Cove Springs, and then lower 80s out into our western counties and even in through our areas of southeast Georgia. And then temperatures tonight dropping into the mid to upper 60s into tomorrow morning. Now, Saturday morning, we do have the Heart Walk. And Channel 4 will be out there. Joy Purdy is the MC of the American Association Heart Walk. And the walker start at 9 a.m. So you can come out and walk for free. There is that opportunity to do that. It should be a very nice day in the morning. But always pack a poncho. Make sure you have a raincoat or windbreaker just in case, because you and 25,000 other people will be out there. And of course, we have a big football game that we're talking about as well. The Chiefs come to town for Monday Night Football. It looks like our rain will be in the afternoon, perhaps while you're getting ready for your tailgate. And then as you move into the evening of the actual game time, that's when we'll start to see some of that rain taper off. Now, the halftime and the drive home, those icons are wrong because it's a night game. So there should be no sunshine there. So that's on me. I will fix that graphic for you for tomorrow morning. All right, here is the next 7 days And check out these temperatures. Really, we do stay on the cooler side of average through Wednesday, through Tuesday, actually, when we get back to where we should be. A lot of that nor'easter-like feel will be out of here by Monday into Tuesday. Temperatures bounce back to where they should be for this time of year. Maybe we have some more 90s in our future this month. Right now, we are 1 day shy of tying the record number of days with a high at or above 90 degrees. We're at 113. The record is 114. So will we break it? Usually in the month of October, we do have some days at 90. So we'll see, because by next weekend, we could be inching much closer to that. All right, so that is the very latest information. Of course, coming up at noon, Katie will update you further about your day today. Just keep in mind, very hazardous conditions at our area beaches. Rain in rounds throughout the weekend with spots of sunshine. Not a complete washout, always have a backup plan. Also, coastal flood warning going into effect later on this afternoon throughout the weekend. Just meaning if you encounter an area that is underwater, turn around, don't drown. You don't want to drive through floodwaters. If you're not familiar with the streets, you don't know how deep they are, it is extremely dangerous. So we'll continue to keep you updated here on News4JAX Plus, News4JAX on air, News4JAX online, and at the Weather Authority app. I'm Michelle McCormick. Great to be with you on this Friday. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 11 a.m.
See why every day more people are choosing News4JAX, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source